Welcome back to the epic block of the month by Charisma Horton Designs. We are on month number 7. We're doing these really cool, kind of randomly placed parts and pieces in these quarter square triangles that are going to make some dynamic parts for the rest of the quilt. Are you ready? Let's get started. This is going to be so much fun this month. I'm really excited about the way that this block comes together, mostly because it's not all that much sewing. I mean, we're only really making half blocks, right? Folks, my name is Appell, and I'm a quilt maker out at Stitchin Heaven in Quitman, Texas, and we are working with my awesome new and newer world fabrics from Benartex on Charisma Horton from the Little Pink Barn. She designed this incredible, well, I should call it the epic block of the month, 96 by 96 inches square. If you haven't already heard, maybe you've just popped onto this video somehow, welcome. And there is still plenty of places out there that have the patterns and or the kits, and you will need one or both to work along with this. As I was starting to say, we're doing videos all 12 months. We're on month number 7, and last month, month number 6, we were making a bunch of random quarter square triangles, and now we're going to use them. We're making 8 of these blocks. They're whole blocks, but you can see we have one big chunk across there. And as we dive into the instructions on page number 13, let me slow down just a freckle and talk a little bit. You've got large squares that are cut in the cutting instructions. The big black ones are cut on a single diagonal. Please do not go too far. The blue ones, as you see, are cut double diagonal so that we get 4 chunks out of them. Remember, we're making 8 blocks, so every block's going to need one of the blue and one of the black. So while you're working, just keep all of that in mind while you're getting ready and preparing the pieces. I'm going to kind of jump right here to step 4, where we're talking about getting all of our parts and pieces ready. And I guess I did omit step 3. Sorry about that, folks. There is a place where we cut down our triangles, but this is where I kind of disagree with the pattern a little bit. Because it is random, I want it to stay random, and so I'm actually taking a moment and mixing and matching all of my colors prior to stitching together the small triangles that were made, so that none of my same fabrics touch when I go to build out the unit that becomes this portion here. So with that said, we are going to be making these small triangles. We're going to sew those together, and I definitely want to put my edge guide on today. And now I'm going to feed those through with that flat corner as I've been teaching you. And once you have them all chosen, do them all so that you can then come back to building out your blocks. But don't forget, folks, when I say do them all, some of them will remain not stitched to anything other than the block, and then we'll get there here in a second. So I'm just finishing the ones for these sides here. Seems like the iron was on just a second ago. Then I'm just going to press over to what I consider maybe the darker of the 2 colors as it goes through. But there's no real good way to guarantee the nesting of these parts and pieces. Now, with that said, the easiest thing to do is to sew on this top piece first. Flip it over. If you need to double check that you have kind of equal parts hanging over both sides, you can. You might even want to take this one flipped up so you can manage all of your seams from the back end of the block. And we'll just press up and out into our triangle at this moment. And now, like you can see, like I said, I've got all of these random parts and pieces. I am now going to, once again, make sure as I spin my block units back together, like I wouldn't want those reds, even if they're different fabrics, to touch, but I like that plenty fine. Now I'm going to line up the bottom edge and the outside edge as I begin to get ready for that seam allowance. And now we're going to go ahead, and even though I've got that edge guide on, I can get that little bit underneath there if I need. Trim those off in advance if you care to. Then I'm going to press out again. Bring it back around, making sure to keep your orientations, double checking your colors, looking at your straight edge and your straight edge along the bottom. In case you were wondering, did I have it right? No, I didn't. And I can spin it. Make sure you know which part you're sewing together, though. You have two technical parts that could be stitched at that moment. Don't want to have to get the seam ripper out again like last month. Oh boy, was that embarrassing. But it was a good learning moment. Okay, press this over here. So really the trick to this month is just making sure you keep your fabrics and colors and everything fun and randomized, because at this point, oh, I should point out, sorry, there is one more trick. Look, folks, we have opposite blocks, even just like I laid them out on the design wall. So when we put in our decorative triangle with our blue triangle, we're going to want to make sure that 4 of them are facing one direction and 4 of them are facing the other. And the easiest is to look here in step 5. Okay, and then so for step 5 right now, we're going to follow it just as we see it. So right now I'm putting this triangle here, and I'm putting this triangle here, just like I see it in step 5. Then I'll sew the black triangle down on here. So for this one, I'm going to flip this over. You could trim those seams out if you like. I'm looking at that square edge again. Oh, that's going to line up real nicely. So again, folks, you may want to take this kind of chain piecing style or in phases to make sure that you have 4 right-handers and 4 left-handers before you sew on any of the black fabric. Because of course, if you put the black fabric on, you'll have to take it off if you find that you don't have the proper count and color orientations, okay? So just be aware of that while you're working. Once you can confirm that you have 4 with the blue on the left and 4 with blue on the right at this point, grab that large last black triangle there. And like I was saying earlier, if you ever feel like you would like to omit some of those dog ears that come over, feel free to. Flip them over. And you notice I went right to the tip there. I'm looking at that first. Now I'm just kind of adjusting through here. And because I have all of those seams on the back, I do want to go ahead and look at them as I'm stitching. Folks, these are 2 really long bias edges. So please don't pull or push on your fabric. Let your sewing machine do all the work for you. Nice and slow. This could get distorted fairly easy, and I don't want that to happen for you. Once you get to a point where you can double check your bottom corners are still matched up nice, you can have confidence that it's going to line up perfect. And just go ahead and, like I said, nice and slow. Don't pull on the fabric. That'll really distort things here. Let them feed through nice and even. Press over to that bigger black triangle and you will be all set. Now you can see I have a few more to do and you have a few more to do. So we will meet up next month, month number 8, for some more awesome parts, pieces, and instruction from yours truly, Rob Appell from Stitchin Heaven, using the wonderful, epic block of the month pattern by Charisma Horton and the new and newer worlds by Tex Fabrics and myself. Super fun blocks. We're going to have a blast, and I'll be back next month with all of these stitched together. And again, folks, in the comments below, let us know how you're doing. Let us know how the sewing is going, and we'll see you in month 8.